Hey guys, back into the Zoueki-mura 132nd HS-129. I've got the skins on the lower wings. I did a little bit of painting. There have been a couple of issues, not major ones. And I thought maybe they were self-inflicted, but a couple guys are building these kits on forums, and they had the same issues. So one is this piece. Let's grab something to point with. This piece here didn't fit very well in this area. It was up and it was hitting a bulkhead, like one of these on the bottom of the curved part. Well, they must have, I don't know how they screwed that up, but it's in the way and you have to cut the bottom of it off anyways. It's not just me, I've seen it on a couple of them now, so that's an issue. I filled this, I'll go over it again, but I use CA and dental acrylic for filler. I find the dental acrylic makes it sand easier. I've hit a couple spots on this already, like I said, right here, and I did a part right here on the upper seam. Another issue is when you fit this lower piece in here, sorry, I'll get in frame, this piece, there's a gap here, as you can see all along, that will need to be filled. I have tacked it in place so there wasn't a step and CA'd it inside, and also will be a backer so when I put filler in it won't push through. But I saw on the forum one of the fellows corrected the gap by, let's see if I can capture this, there's a tab, let's see here, better in here. He trimmed this, which enabled them to move it back a little bit, but I was concerned that's going to mess with this fit here on the front. Now maybe that would be an easier join to fill than this, I don't know. I was concerned about it, I didn't want to screw with it too much, so I just left it. I painted this in here just with Styler black, just in case you can see through some of the openings. You probably won't be able to, but I did it just in case. And I primed and painted. This will be under the nacelle. This is the actual gear bays. I just put RLM2 on. I use Hitaka. I don't know what to think of it, the Hitaka. I like all lacquers, and it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I don't find it sprays as nice as Tamiya lacquers or Mr. Hobby lacquers. Seem to spray better. I don't like this shit either, to be honest with you. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not bad. I just don't find it sprays as nice as Tamiya or Mr. Hobby. But, yeah, it's okay. Where are we now? I just have I didn't even glue these. I guess I probably will, but I don't think it needs to. These just slide in. These legs on these two pieces, if you can see, they just pop in. Let's see if I can pull it out. Yeah, see, they just pop in there to support the legs, which is kind of cool. Shitty that you have to put the legs in first. I hate that, but not much we can do about it. They're RLM2 as well, and I don't know if that's the oleo. There's a chrome portion in there anyways, which you'll get later. Set that down. I started assembling the engine. You can kind of see how complex these get. Super nice detail. All the exhaust pieces that come with it. Ring. This portion on the back, I don't know what the hell that is, if that's exhaust or what, but very complex. You really need to follow the instructions. There's tabs to keep it in alignment. Just pay attention to that and take your time with it. And I'm going to have all the cowlings closed, so you know, it doesn't really matter to me. I'll just paint probably a general painting on it on the front, and it's going to be buried. I guess I'm finding with kits now, and I haven't done armor in a while, but I'm curious if it's the same now with all the interior kits. It's harder to button these kits up and close them than it is to display, especially on Kitty Hawk. It's more difficult to build the plane as if it didn't have panels off than to open it up. Hopefully this one isn't like that. But yeah, let's see how this fits. I'm not going to bother painting some of this stuff once again because I'll have all the cowlings on. But these pieces fit in here. And yeah, just like that. They press in. Let's see if I can, I wasn't paying attention whether I was in frame on that last one or not. This pushes in, tight on the back. Tabs are in, so yeah, just like that. This kit is quite cool in the way you can pretty much dry fit it. And once again, I painted the backside black in case from the bottom up you can see through the wheel well. Not that anybody's going to be looking, but let's just see here. Maybe I'll do both, what the hell. So you can see how good the fit is. Like, this has just had general cleanup. I really haven't gone to town on the cleanup. And cool. So, let's see. It's going to be difficult. But how will these close up? Pretty good. I think that's going to be pretty good. It's hard to get in frame here. Now the engines mount on a framework that plugs into this, and then the cowlings wrap around. I've heard the cowling fit might be a little bit iffy. We'll see soon. I'm going to try and get the engines together and painted tonight. And I'm going to try to take holiday here soon for a couple of weeks, so hopefully there'll be extended bench sessions. And try the other one. Get in there. My left hand is shit. But you can see the fit for a complete dry fit. That's pretty good. And I was reading, I mentioned this in a previous video, it's shaped this way to deflect gunfire off of it because it's a low altitude plane. But that's pretty slick. I think what I'll do now is clean these up a bit more, glue them all in, and then come back with it all glued up. Maybe I can get the engines in place as well, or at least show you the painted engines. The guns were supposed to go in first, but I'm gonna screw that up, and I didn't want to have to I didn't want to have to pre-paint this area and then put it on over the gun. So I'll just cut them off and stick them in after. So I'm gonna get to gluing all this shit, and then to the paint booth to get those engines painted, and then I'll come back and we'll see where we're at. Okay guys, let's see, I've got everything glued. The leading edge I think I got pretty good. It's nice because the panel line runs along here, and the bottom there's none. In builds where you see people put washers in and they've lost this panel line a little bit, they haven't rescribed it. It's not an issue here. They don't have one. Everything glued up fairly decent. I still have to fill this in. I don't know what I'll use. Not sure. Yeah, we'll see. I had issues, which doesn't surprise me, but this sill here, excuse me, sorry, it's like 6 a.m. I need more coffee. This sill I couldn't get to work out, so I put it on backwards because it was the only way it would fit. I was aware that I was putting it on backwards at the time. That being said, you think I wouldn't be a moron and glue the shit out of it, but I did. So I had to pry it off, and I broke them, warped the shit out of them, prying them off. And I'm just trying to find in the instruction manual here the sensible way of doing it. Anyways, let's see. I'll zoom in here a little bit, see if we can show you what the hell I'm talking about. I've kind of warped this one, and I broke this one right here, but in the end, this is all covered, and I don't think you see it anyways. So as long as it doesn't mess up the fit, it shouldn't matter. I've got it decent where it's exposed. Excuse me. Now, here we are. The sills in this step, you put these sides on, which it gives you ones with no ports for guns as well. It doesn't mention that, but that's obviously for a different version. See here, it says, here's the sill. It actually is a gluing, it's a gluing surface for this. Why in the fuck they wouldn't have you put them in there as opposed to 25 steps back? I have no idea. That's silly. But I think I got it sorted out. Now, fit issues. There's something wonky in this front. I don't know what it is. Probably self-induced. Probably 100% my fault. Regardless, I don't know if I didn't clean something properly in here, but it almost was like it had to be sandwiched in a bit more. And when you put these on, it had a step here. All in all, it didn't fit too bad. I'm going to zoom out again because I keep getting out of frame. Oh, Jesus. So yeah, there's something wonky in this front. I was getting paranoid over the step here, but I think that is some sort of armor plate or something. There's supposed to be a step. I have some reference pictures. Where is the windscreen? I had the glass. That could be problematic. Fuck did that go? That's not cool. Oh, that's what I knocked on the floor. Perfect. Okay. So what I did was I put all this in place and then put elastic bands around it to get it all, because if I didn't, this was too wide. There was a massive gap. It just needed to be sandwiched in. So I put the elastic bands around it, and it fit great. Now, as far as this not being transparent, it's because it's not. It's armored glass. There's 2 layers, and this funky thing that I was laughing at if it was belts is not belts. It's a duct system that runs underneath, and it blows hot air in between the 2 plates of glass to keep it not fogged up. So that is all kosher. That's how it's supposed to be. I have filled and sanded this pretty good. It looks good. Now I have to rescribe, and I'm just trying to figure out what's panel line and what's seam line. And there is a prolific seam on the real thing here, so I'm going to have to scribe that out. And then there is a panel line that runs just below it as well, with some rivets. I think they're the, do I have any left? Yeah, they're, let's see if we can zoom in again. They're the style of rivets that, well, you can't do it with the rosette riveter thing. You need these things because there's a hollow around it. There's like a dot in the middle of a circle type of thing, if you get what I'm saying. So I have some references here. Let's get this out of the way. I just kind of went on Google this morning to see the profile of the nose. What's interesting is, bitching about the fit, it really doesn't look like the panel lines are that smooth on this. It is a little bit rough. Let's see here what else I got. I got a line drawing here. Shows the nose. That's the kick-ass gun in the next version. That'll be sweet. But it shows the panel line here. That will be, I believe, the actual seam. And then there's this. I think it's riveted. As far as schemes go, I also printed this off the Zoueki site so I could see. And you know, I've noticed in a couple of in their test build, it was gray, so I don't know if it was 3D printed or what. I think it was at Telford. But you can see some steps and whatnot. It doesn't look perfect. And even in the examples in here, like, I didn't get this gap, but you can see there's a little bit of gap there. You can see the shoulder here, armor is stepped. It doesn't sit flush, so, you know, I spent half an hour trying to mess around with that, and it was screwing all my fit up. That's how it's supposed to look, apparently. So, here, where did I put you? Oh, for schemes, kind of sick of the desert camo shit. I don't know what's available in this. I don't really pay that much attention to it. Our schemes are yeah, maybe, I don't know. Let's zoom out again. Well, I guess that's it. We have a total of one. Yeah, one scheme. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm thinking something like this with the winter camo over it. Now I've noticed Hasegawa do a kit in 48 with this scheme. I was contemplating maybe trying to buy it just to see what the scheme looked like in better detail. We'll see about that. This one's interesting because it looks like it's a desert camo that's been whitewashed over, which is cool. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. The other good news is, theoretically, I don't know if I believe it, my Kitty Hawk 132nd Mirage 2000 is supposed to be in today. We will see. If that's the case, I'll probably do, I don't really like in-box reviews, but that's probably exactly what I'll do. We'll look at it, and I'll probably try and do it over the holidays. I'll try and get this kind of button up and in the primer, and we'll get on with the Mirage.